Convention Center in Memphis, Tennessee. It's Team America North versus Team America South.
And hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Cusick, and working along with me on the show is a three-time world nine-ball champion. And Jimmy Mattia, welcome, first of all, to Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. We're going to have some fun tonight.
Well, we certainly are. Some of the best players in the world in the North-South shootout. These are the top players on the tour today. It should be a great event.
Well, what you're really going to be watching here is Team America versus Team America, with one very exciting new twist, and that's the 20-second shot clock. Now, what people see in the movies, these guys do for a living, and they do it better than anybody in the world. Okay, well, let's get started with the introduction of the players. We start first with a player from Baltimore, Maryland. He is a four-time world straight pool champion and the three-time U.S. Open champion, Mike Siegel. He's won major titles in 6 different countries and the 1991 Sands Reno champion. He's number 3 on the tour. He has 11 world titles under his belt. Jim Rempe, the 1991 winner of the Challenge of Champions, currently ranked 12th on the Pro Tour. Originally from Puerto Rico, Mike LeBron. From Modesto, California, ranked number 6 on the Pro Tour. Winner of the 1992 Lexington All-Star Championship, Kim Davenport. He's the current president of the MPBA, 2-time U.S. Open 9-ball champion and ranked number 18 on the Pro Tour. He's the captain of the North team. Welcome, Alan Hopkins. And for Team America South from Twin City, Georgia, the hottest young player on the tour today, currently ranked number 1, the current world 9-ball champion, Johnny Archer. He's the 2-time U.S. Open 9-ball champion and ranked number 10 on the Pro Tour, David Howard. Recently inducted into the Hall of Fame and now ranked number 5 on the Pro Tour, winner of over 60 major titles in his career, Nick Barner. Number 2 ranked player on the tour right now, number 75 major titles to his credit, from Metropolis, Illinois, the captain of the South team, Buddy Hall. And the coach of Team America, the coach of both the North and the South team. He's originally from Pittston, Pennsylvania, now hailing from Palmdale, California, a former world straight pool champion, Lou Butera. And Lou, being the coach of both the North and the South team, you are probably the most unique coach in the country right now.
That I am, Kevin, and I'm playing for the South today because I believe the South is going to rise again.
Oh, okay. Well, if you are the coach for both the North and the South team, the South may rise again, but what kind of direction will you be able to give the North team?
I'm going to tell them to miscue whenever they can and let my team win.
Okay, well, that's good advice. Stay with us here on Prime Network. Hall shaking the hands of Kim Davenport as they lag for the break, and after this lag, we'll see if the North or the South will break first. Buddy Hall playing for the South and Kim Davenport playing for the North, and clearly Buddy Hall from the South wins the lag. And Jimmy, take us through the rules of 9-ball.
Okay, Kevin. Now, a player has 10 seconds to break the balls after they're racked. Once the referee lifts that rack, the clock will start. The player will have 10 seconds, which is Johnny Archer. He will break the balls to open the match. Now, when a player's inning begins, he is given 25 seconds to approach the table and execute his first shot. After that, players are given 20 seconds to shoot between shots. That is from the time he strikes the cue ball until he strikes it again. The clock is reset after each shot. Failure to shoot within the allotted time is a foul, which gives ball in hand to the opposing team, except on the break shot, when, if a time foul does occur, the opposing team gets to re-break. Now, there's 2 20-minute periods. That constitutes a match.
All right, so Johnny Archer still at the table, and he almost gets lucky on the 3-ball there.
And that's a rare miss for Johnny. He's been playing like gangbusters the last couple of years, and as you mentioned, he is the current world's champion, so that's a rare miss for Johnny Archer.
And
Buddy Hall here, I'm surprised that he elected to shoot that shot. It didn't look to me as though he had a pocket. Now, Mike Siegel is faced with a 3-9 combination here. Will he go for the 9-ball? It looks as though he is, and great shot.
Take a look at this combination, Jimmy.
This is a great shot here. I'm surprised that Mike even went for that type of a shot. There's so much distance between the balls and the pocket. Just a great shot by a great player, Mike Siegel.
Kim Davenport now at the table, getting ready to break. One drops in the right-hand corner of the pocket.
Now, he's got a lot of green here, Kevin. This is the kind of shot where it helps to know the speed of the table, because you got to play position for the next ball, which would be the 3 ball. He didn't have the shot, but he had the position for the 3. Now, Nick Varner, I can't tell from here whether he could see this shot or not. Now, he can give it back to Team South, or Team North, excuse me.
And that he does. Team North, Jim Rempe comes up, takes the table, comes to the table awfully quick, which you have to do now with the 20-second shot clock, although 25 to the incoming player. And he takes a whack at it.
Well, slop counts in this game, Kevin, as long as you hit the lowest numbered ball on the table. If you make anything else, it counts. So you're going to see a lot of slam banging of balls during certain times of the match tonight because of the rules. If you miss a shot, the opposing team can either shoot from there or make you shoot again. So it takes all the defensive play out of the game. It's really a wide open offensive show. Now, right now, Nick Varner has a very clear table. He has a chance to do some damage. No problem with the 5. It's straight in the pocket there. Just roll the cue ball down, give yourself a little angle on the 6 so you can bring the cue ball back towards the center of the table. And he'll play the 7 ball after the 6 ball in our lower left-hand corner pocket. Now, he would have liked to have gotten a little bit closer to his work there, but I'm sure it won't be much of a problem for Nick. Problem here is the 9 ball. A rare mistake there by Nick Varner. Now he'll attempt to cut the 8 into the left-hand corner pocket here. Okay, look out for the side pocket here, Kevin.
Ooh, he just lays the 8 ball up on the rail there, and that brings Alan Hopkins to the table. Alan's been very active in pro team billiards on the world tour. He was one of the main members. And he is not quite he's not quite happy with this shot, so he'll give it back, and he gives it to David Howard.
This is not an easy shot. Had the ball bounced a little more off the rail, he'd have a nice easy shot into the side pocket, but it's so close to the rail, it makes it a difficult shot. Oh, he elect to bank the ball cross side.
David Howard. The 9 comes off the bottom rail nice, and David Howard ties it. Ties the score now. 1-1 is the score. Lou Butera knows there's not a lot of time. Takes a poke at the 2 ball, unsuccessful.
Well, Lou's a type of a player, Kevin, that doesn't really care about the time clock. We call him the machine gun because of his rapid fire style of play. So really, Lou doesn't have any problems at all with the shot clock.
It's not the clock that hurried him, huh? It's just his style of play. So Alan Hopkins is now at the table. He sinks the 2 ball, now looking over the 3.
His cue ball came down table quite quickly off the rail there, and it's very important to know the speed of the cloth. It's hard for these guys to play position and basically do their thing if they don't have the speed of the cloth down pat. Now there's a nice bank shot by Allen across sides on a 3 ball, and now he's going to have to go cross sides again with the 4 ball. But the problem here is to get position for the 5 ball, the orange ball, which is down on the end rail. Okay, he elected to try to cut it in the side, and the reason he did that, it's a little more difficult shot than the bank shot, but he had to try to get the cue ball down at the other end of the table. Now, Mike LeBron here, I would assume, is going to try to pound him and perhaps slop a ball in, which he did. He slopped the 8 ball in.
9 ball in the side pocket.
He can continue his trip to the table. He looks as though he has a bank shot here. And he has just banked the cue ball.
And that'll give Johnny Archer ball in hand. There you see Mike McAndrew. He's the referee of this tournament. And Johnny Archer comes up and easily puts away the 4 ball and sets himself up for the 5.
Now, on a foul, Kevin, there is a foul that the clock, our game clock, comes to a stop until our referee hands the cue ball to the incoming player. Then the shot clock will begin.
Just under 12 minutes left in the first half of the World Team Billiards on Prime Network. The North-South shootout.
Perfect speed there, Kevin. Cutting the 7-ball in the left-hand corner pocket, having the cue ball swing out towards the center, leaves Johnny a nice straight-in shot.
He sure does, and Johnny takes the lead. The South takes the lead for the first time in this. High fives all the way around. We'll be back with more billiards on Prime Networks. Table shooting these balls.
I'll tell you, you got to be on your toes, because you not only got to be out there executing and trying to figure out in your mind how you want to play each game, but you got to also keep one eye on the clock. Now, Mike's problem here is the 6 and the 8, which you see towards the lower right-hand corner pocket of the screen.
We talked about the clock. What's interesting about the clock is the fact that you get 20 seconds from the time you actually contact the cue ball with your cue, which is really fast.
Yeah, whenever you strike the cue ball, the 20-second clock begins. Now, if you're in a situation where you know you have to go maybe 3, 4, 5 rails with your cue ball to assume position for your next shot, hey, the clock is running on you, so it's a fast offensive game.
And it's working now for Mike Siegel with a nice combination there. And now sinks the 6 and gets himself ready for the 7-ball. Mike Siegel is a 3-time U.S. Open champion. And he is getting in position to tie the score for Team North. And he does. He ties it up. So the score now is 2-2 with 10:33 left to play in the first half. And that brings the Riflemen, Buddy Hall, to the table. Buddy Hall's currently ranked 2nd on the Pro Tour. And he drops 2 balls on the break, 1 ball in the side pocket.
Now, he's getting good position here. The balls are scattered out. He's got the 2 balls straight in. All he wants to do is more or less stop the ball or draw it back a little bit. He has a good shot here for the 3. Now, he has to put a lot of English on his cue ball. He's got to suck it back down table for the 4 ball. Okay, now on this next shot here, he will cut the 4 into the right-hand corner pocket. His cue ball will swing 2 rails around to the left and out towards the center. Okay, good shot, perfect speed.
Buddy's very calculated in the way he plays. Well, steady as she goes. Now, the shot clock should hurt a guy like him. He likes to play a little slower style of play than this shot clock allows.
Yeah, he is a little bit slow, but he's not really as slow as you think. He gets the job done. It just he walks around, takes his time. Hey, he's from the South. He takes his time.
He does get the job done, though, Jimmy. No complaining about that, especially this year.
Now, what I like most about Buddy's game compared to the other champions is his cue ball control. He has excellent control of the cue ball, which is ever so important in playing the game of pool. He always seems to be straight in.
And he makes it look easy.
No problem for the Rifleman.
Gives the lead back to the South, and as Coach Lou Butera told us at the top of the show, the South will rise again. Well, they've risen to 3-2 anyway, with just over 8 minutes to play in the first half. That brings Kim Davenport to the table, and Kim Davenport from Modesto, California.
Now he'll try to bank this 1 ball straight across the side here. Okay, nice shot. He's got a little bit of a tester here. He's going to have to thin this 3 into the lower right-hand corner pocket. He's not going to hit it very hard, I wouldn't think, because the 4 is over there by the side. Okay, nice shot, and look at the position. No problem with the 4 here. He'll go up and down the table. He'll play the 5 into the left-hand lower part of our screen here. Now, in this particular shot here, he'll put top English on his cue ball. He'll follow his cue ball down to the end rail and back towards the center of the table, so he'll have position on the 6 ball.
Jimmy, the team play has really been catching on throughout the United States. It's common amongst amateurs, but the pros have really caught on this past year and really seem to like the style of team play.
I think it's the best way to play pool, especially for television. I like this new format that Don Mackey has come up with. It puts a lot of excitement into the game, and a new type of excitement that the pros have never been faced against. It's exciting. Look out for the side pocket. Getting a little bit close to his work there, Kevin, but he's in perfect position.
Kim Davenport drops the 8 ball and sets himself up nicely for the 9. And now it is a 3-3 tie, north-south shootout. Table getting ready to break for the South team, 3-3 tie, 6:16 left in the first half.
Nick has pocketed the ball on the break, Kevin, but it doesn't look as though he has a pocket for the 2. Well, maybe he does. He's not taking much time at it. Of course, you can't take much time with the shot clock involved. Now, what he'll try to do here is pocket the 3 into this pocket, draw back his cue ball just a little bit, and play the 4 into the side. Perfect. Cue ball control, that's the name of the game, especially with players of this caliber.
Nick Varner cracking away at his gum as he's known for. He never plays a match without a healthy stack of gum near
That
his side,
seems to be his trademark. It relaxes him. All players have certain little things that they do to relax them while they're at the table. Nick Varner's choice is to chew gum.
You know, in the team style versus the individual, you really have the support of a team as well. I mean, when you're playing a 9-ball championship and it's just you against the other person, you really don't have the support that you would have here. Does that make a difference?
Yeah, it's strange, Kevin, because during our regular tournaments on the professional tour, I mean, hey, these guys are dog-eat-dog. They're not out to do any favors for anybody, believe me. And it's just strange to see them here clapping for each other and rooting each other on. It's something that I've never seen before. Nick Varner, as usual, is in dead punch.
It's a back-and-forth match. Nick Varner now gives the lead back to the South team, 4-3. The South is on top. There's 4:20 left to play. And that brings Jim Rempe from Scranton, Pennsylvania to the table. King James, they call him. And he's their designated breaker, so breaking, I'm certainly sure, is part of his game.
Well, breaking is a very important part of the game in 9-ball. I mean, it's one of the most important shots in the game. Let's face it, if you don't have a good, powerful break, you can't put together racks. So you need to really work on the break shot. A lot of people, they practice the game, but they don't practice the break. The break is very important. And from the looks of things, Kevin, here in a 4-3 score, we could possibly, towards the end of the match, have a sudden death ordeal.
Well, you mentioned sudden death. We talked about 2 20-minute halves. If it is tied at the end of regulation play, at the end of 40 minutes, there is 1 rack playoff that will decide the champion. So it could go there. It's 4-3 now with 3:25 left in the first half. We'll have to wait and see. Now at the table is
now David here.
David Howard
has a problem because of the 4 ball down there. He doesn't want to hit the 4 ball, but it just makes it a little rough for him to get the cue ball down the table because of the 4 sitting there. Now what he'll try to do here is pocket the 2 into this pocket, have his cue ball, come back up this way to the 3 into that pocket. Okay, nice shot, good speed. It's always rough, Kevin, when you have to shoot a shot slow, because in case the table is not level, you're in a lot of problems. Players don't like to roll the cue ball softly for the fear that they might come across an unlevel table, and that happens at times and it causes them to miss. So they like shots where they can really open up their stroke and hit it with a little bit of authority, and then they don't have to worry about a ball taking a bad roll. Now there's a little bit of a problem here with the 7-9 It looks as though he can make the 7, but his cue ball is also going to run into the 9. Now, anytime you have your cue ball running into another ball, obviously you don't know where the balls are going to end up. So that's why the players try to work around the table without running into balls. They leave the balls where they're sitting and try to work their cue ball around the table. Now, he's going to run into this ball, and he may get lucky. He did. He got lucky and got a good shot out of this, Kevin. That's, he gambled there, and he got away with it. No problem here to slice the 7 in.
Boy, David Howard is showing us why they call him the giant killer. That was a great shot, and another great shot where he cut it in on the 7 ball. And now the South team takes a 5-3 lead with 1:31 remaining in the first half. Now Lou Butera is at the table, and you say he's known as Machine Gun Lou. So we'll see what he can do. He drops one ball in the side pocket, and Lou likes to shoot fast.
Oh, yeah, the shot clock is no problem for him. In the World Championships, I can't remember what year it was, but he was playing straight pool, 150 points. He ran 150 balls in a row, and I believe the time on it was something like 21 minutes. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's just something that's not heard of. 21 minutes to run 150 balls, that's amazing. He needs a little bit of a kiss there, and Lou got it.
I think the cue ball heard Lou on that. Lou was screaming at the top of his lungs to the cue ball.
He was begging.
He responded, so.
He was begging.
Lou is one step shy of running around the table right now.
Definitely the fastest player in the country, has been for many years.
15 seconds left on the shot clock, and he could get one more game out. 7 seconds now, 6, 5, and that was a fantastic rack by Lou Butera. The score now at the first half, the South team 6, the North team 3. We will be back to Memphis, Tennessee with the Meucci Q-Tip.
TV Q-Tip of the Week with David Howard.
Hi, I'm little David Howard from Jacksonville, Florida. What I just did there was the power draw shot. In order to execute the power draw, you've got to use a lot of follow-through, probably 2 or 3 foot of follow-through. Most people don't believe we do that, but all the top players do a lot of follow-through. For me, I pull this cue all the way back out of my bridge to allow me more follow-through. Most players, they'll stop about halfway and try to poke at it, and you don't have a lot of follow-through. In order to draw the cue ball back, you have to hit down on the cue ball, but you have to catch the cue ball first with a descending blow, a dip we call it, to get bottom spin on the ball. When you do that, the cue actually jumps up a little bit with bottom spin, and when it skips along, hits the back of the ball, and comes zipping back really fast for position on the 6 ball. Remember, it's a long follow-through with a lot of backswing and a lot of dip in the stroke. You actually take a little surface of the felt on the drawback.
The North-South shootout, and Mike Siegel will try to bring back the North team, which is now down, like you say, 6-3.
6-3. Now, it looks as though here the 1 ball is locked against the 7. I don't think Kim has room to pocket this ball. What he's going to have to do here really is just slam into the balls here and throw the dice, Kevin, and hope that he can pocket the ball and at the same time come out with some position for his next shot. And there you go. He's just going to whack it around. He'd say he pocketed a ball.
Whacked it around enough to get the 1 ball in the bottom right corner.
Great
pocket.
Position for the 2. He got lucky there. He should be in Vegas tonight. He's a lucky man on that shot. Good position for the 2 in the side. Look out for the 9.
Now, the North-South shootout is an exhibition match with Team America. Team America plays internationally in 1992. Team America was 6-2 in what was an exhibition year. They beat Sweden, Germany, England, Mexico, Asia, and they beat the All-Stars from a compilation of those countries. And they only lost 2 matches to Puerto Rico and the Philippines, Jimmy.
Puerto Rico and the Philippines have amazing players. For years, America has dominated the pocket billiard tour. Not so anymore. Pool's become so popular all over the world that now Team America really has its work cut out for it, because the European and Asian players have been coming over to the United States for quite some time now, studying the way the American players play the game. The Americans are without a doubt the best in the world, but anymore, hey, it's up for grabs. The Philippines are great, the Europeans, the Asians, they all play a great game of pool today.
Well, in 1993, 16 countries will compete for the Mosconi Cup, named after the great Mosconi, and much like the Ryder Cup or the America's Cup, it'll represent international play for billiards.
He was definitely my idol when I was growing up learning how to play the game, Willie Mosconi.
You watched Willie, huh? Yeah,
oh, I think he's everybody's idol. He was a tremendous player. Getting back to some of our rules here, Kevin, the WTB requires a roster of a minimum of 5 players. As we know, the loser breaks.
Jim Rempe now shooting on the 7 ball.
Now on this particular shot, he's going to try to pocket the 8 in the left-hand corner pocket. Put some draw on his cue ball. It's a miss. It wasn't an easy shot there. And look out for the scratch.
And nearly scratches in the corner pocket. But that brings Buddy Hall to the table from the South team.
Now, I don't know if I'd want to shoot this shot. I mean, he has a straight-in shot, Kevin, but look where the cue ball is. I mean, this is a difficult shot. I might want to elect to pass this shot. And it looks as though he should have, but look out now. It's going back down. That's the pocket he called. Hey, a trick shot.
A long way around.
A trick shot for Buddy Hall. Looks as though he's going to try to cut the 9 in the side pocket here. Nice shot. Look out for the other side pocket, though. Down the drain it goes. I don't believe it. Boy, oh boy, I don't believe that one.
And Buddy Hall gets high fives all the way around. Here's another.
Now we got one of the heavy hitters coming to the table right now. Nick Varner, boy, he really breaks the balls good. Look at that break. He hits them hard. Another great shot by Varner, a jump shot there. Pockets 2 balls in 1 shot, but he's left with a tough one here, the 3 ball. He's going to have to try to cut it down the rail. He's not going to worry too much right now about position on the 4. Right now, his main objective is to pocket the 3 ball here.
Tries to cut it down to the corner, but unsuccessful.
Now here is where Team South will elect to have Team North shoot again. David Howard definitely doesn't want this shot. I don't think he would shoot this shot at all. He's going to give it back to... Oh, I can't believe it. He's going to go for it. Gutsy move on David Howard's part. And I don't agree with that shot at all, Kevin. I think he should have gave it back to the opposing team. That was bad judgment on David Howard's part.
So Alan Hopkins now at the table. He'll use the bridge for this shot. Sinks the 3 ball without much difficulty.
Now he'll pocket the 4 in the side here, just put a little high English on the cue ball. See how he gives himself an angle? You know, anybody could have got straight in on this ball, but he wants an angle so he can bounce his cue ball off the rail and get over to the other side of the table for the 7 ball. You have to play proper angles in this game if you're going to get correct position for your next shot. Now, there's a bad mental mistake on Allen's part. He really didn't look at that shot. I think he was just looking at the cue ball, trying to figure out where he wanted to get for the 8, and up jumped the devil, and he missed the 7.
Once again, he looked a little concerned about the time clock again. The 20-second shot clock's awfully quick, and Allen seemed to be a little concerned about the clock.
It's something you have to think about when you're shooting. You know, you gotta play the right ball into the right pocket, proper position. But on the other hand, you got to remember the 20-second time clock.
Well, the South team is on a roll. The score now is 8-3. The South team leading with that 9-ball shot.
Now, here's one of the outstanding athletes on the Pro Tour, in my opinion, Kevin. This guy must be 57, 58 years old. He plays the game like a teenager. He's an amazing guy, Mike LeBron.
Last year, winner of the Challenge of Champions, which was a $50,000 winner-take-all. Quickly, Mike Siegel runs to the table. He's next up.
Well, this is going to be slam bang. I don't know why he didn't hit that harder. Now, it looks as though he was trying to play a safety. Now, safeties are not allowed in this type of play. If a referee feels that you were playing a shot safe, or if he feels that you're stalling at the table because you have the lead. The referee has the right to call a foul on you. Now, in that last shot, I would say Mike Siegel was trying to play a safety. Had I been referee in the match, I would have called the foul on that.
Could you hear me when I was telling you to do?
Now, this shot here, Kevin, is a thin cut on the one ball into the right-hand corner pocket. The problem is the cue ball. Where's it going to go? Well, it ended up just perfect. He had a great position on the 2 ball. He will hit this ball with some low English. He will probably glance off the 8 ball and suck it back just a little bit for the 3.
Well, he sank the
He hit it a little bit too hard, but that's all right. He's still at the
and the
table.
8 ball on that, so. Buddy now shooting for the 3.
Okay, nice speed of the cue ball here. Has a good angle to get his cue ball to the other side of the table for the 5 ball.
As you see, Team North in anticipation, hoping Buddy misses, of course. There's 11:55 left in the second half. There's 2 20-minute halves, and Buddy Hall is not only eating up the clock, but he's eating up the balls one at a time, which is not good news for the North team.
Team South leading 8 games to 3 over the North. Perhaps they remember what happened in the Civil War, and they're going to get even tonight. Now, we play fouls on all balls. If you touch a ball with your sleeve or anything, it's a foul. So the referee always has his eyes on you. Okay, perfect position. Play the 9 into the side, and the South's going to take a 9-3 lead, Kevin.
Well, Jimmy, the South does take a 9-3 lead. There's just about 11 minutes left in the second half. We'll be back with more billiards on Prime Network. Stay with us. 60 titles underneath his belt, one of the great 9-ball shooters in the world today. He is at the table representing the South team. And oh, he sinks the 9-ball, but he scratches on the cue ball.
Heartbreak City. Heartbreak City there, Kevin. But the South is ahead 9-3, so better for it to happen to the South than the North at this stage of the game.
Which explains why Jimmy Rempe ran to the table and is now quickly trying to shoot on the 1 ball.
Well, with
We'll see
only
him trotting around the table now with a 9-3 deficit. He's going to try to bring the North team back.
with only 10.5 minutes to go in the match, Kevin, and as you mentioned, trailing 9 games to 3, the North really has to open it up here a little bit. Perhaps they have to go for some combination shots on the 9. Perhaps they don't have enough time left to come back from a 9-3 deficit.
Well, one thing for sure, the clock now definitely becomes a factor because 10 minutes left, you know, they've got 6 games to make up. It's a long way back for the North team.
Now this shot
We have the
here,
advantage of the break coming up next with the alternating braking system we've been using here.
take a look where the 7 is, and the shot that Jimmy's shooting on the 6 ball right now, he's in a really tough spot. He wasn't concentrating a whole lot on trying to make that ball. The thing that he was worried about really was getting his cue ball back down the table to try to have a shot on the 7.
So David Howard now shooting on the 6 ball, the green ball there.
Still wondering why David Howard, just a few frames ago, elected to go for a shot that we consider like more or less up in the air as to giving it back to the opposing team. It was kind of an amateur mistake on David Howard's part, which uncharacteristic of him.
David Howard tried to cut the 8 ball in there.
Once again, the slow rolling of the ball, Kevin. When you have to slow roll shots, it becomes more difficult.
That brings Alan Hopkins to the table.
No problem for young Hoppy here. The North will bag this game.
So Alan Hopkins sinks the 9 ball and gives 4 games to the North team. But the South has 9, a 9-4 deficit. North team's got a long way back, but at the table now is Mike LeBron. You talked about his athletic skill. 57 years old, and he can still pound the balls on the break.
Yeah, he's amazing. They just don't run across too many 9-ball players at the age of 50 that can play the game the way Mike LeBron or Luther Lassiter once played it.
Mike sank the 1 ball on the break. He's now setting up for the 2. And you talk about position play. How many balls ahead do you normally think? Does it depend on the lay of the table, or are you always thinking all the way down to the 9 ball?
It depends a little bit on the lay of the table. Sometimes the players will think the entire rack ahead, but usually they're thinking 2 to 3 shots ahead of time.
When you play, that's what you're normally thinking, 2, 3 shots ahead?
Oh, yeah. You have to think ahead. You can't just get up there and shoot the ball in and hope for position on your next shot. You have to have a little bit of a road map in your mind as to what ball you want to play into what pocket. At the same time, where do you want your cue ball to go for your next shot? So you must think ahead.
Well, we saw Lou Butera finish off a table in 1 minute, and he's coming close to that now. Although he might have a little trouble here. Do you think this is a trouble spot for him?
He played a trick shot there, Kevin. Now that was a kiss shot off the 7, playing the 6 into the side pocket, and at the same time playing the 7 in the corner.
He is playing out of his mind.
Well, there's where his education of the game comes into play.
Boy, once again, he is putting on a tournament here. Which brings Johnny Archer to the table for the South team on an alternating breaking system here that we're using. And nothing sinks on the break, so now Mike Siegel comes to the table for the North team. Sinks the 1 ball.
The North cannot afford to lose another game, Kevin. There's only a little over 6 minutes left. They're down 10 games to 4. And at the pace that they've been playing, they're averaging just about 1 game every 2 minutes. So being down 6 games with only 6 minutes to go, they're in a lot of trouble. And now they're in more trouble. The problem there was his cue ball. He wasn't worried about the 3. He had to get position on the 4, which he did. But the 3 ball forgot to fall.
He did, like a receiver who runs before he actually catches the ball. He was thinking a little too far ahead. And Buddy Hall's not going to miss a shot like that, huh?
Well, he massayed that cue ball. Now, the massay shot is by far the most difficult and the most colorful shot in the game of pool. It was a nice shot there by Buddy Hall. He massayed the cue ball around the 6 and cut the 3 in a corner. There's a young fan in the background with a giant sign, Kevin, saying, "Go, Buddy."
Well, Buddy used to live here in Memphis, so he's got a lot of hometown favorites in the crowd tonight. And there's one of them right there.
He almost cut it in. Now here's where the South will shoot again. Kim Davenport does not have a shot. Nick Varner comes running to the table.
Sprints to the table. Now, what did Nick try to do? Did he try to go cross table on that?
He tried to bank the 5 ball cross corners. The problem there was getting the cue ball out of the way.
There you see the shot clock. 25 seconds for the incoming player, 20 seconds for the player who's already been at the table.
Okay, foul there.
And David Howard scratches on the cue ball, which gives Kim Davenport ball in hand, and he'll be shooting at the 5.
No problems here, Kevin. The balls are wide open. The North with a chance to cut into the lead, but time's running out. There's only a little over 4 minutes left in the match. They've got to start taking some chances. Rather than running the balls in numerical order, they might as well take and shoot at the 9. Play a combination shot. Perhaps you can win a couple of quick games, make the 9 on the break, get back into the match. Right now, they're only hurting themselves. I think he's going to play this ball into the corner pocket. It's an easier shot in the side. Why he elected to shoot it in the corner, I don't know.
3.5 minutes left to go in the play. We'll be back with more of the North-South shootout on Prime Network. Stay with us for Prime Network. Jim Rempe at the table now. 10-5. The South team is ahead of the North team here in a Team America exhibition.
Now he is pocketed here, Kevin. Let's see.
Over the table.
2 balls on the break, but he doesn't have a shot on the 2. Once again, you got to throw the dice, hit it hard, and pray. Hope something goes in. Now, once again, Team North will get to shoot again because the 9-ball has Alan Hopkins snookered here. So he's going to go up and down the table, try to hit the 2.
He gave his best shot, but not good enough. That'll give Lou Butera from the South team ball in hand. And if he follows suit that he did in the last 2, he'll run out here.
Lou's been doing a lot of damage. He has really carried Team South so far in this match, Kevin. He's playing great tonight.
A late entry to the tournament. Lou has really proven his stripes.
Well, this type of format really suits Lou because of the style of play he has. Nobody plays as fast as Lou does. Forget about a 20-second shot clock. You can give this guy a 5-second shot clock. It isn't going to bother him. He's ready to shoot before the ball stops rolling. There's no question.
This is a lesson in 9-ball from Lou here. He said, I just wanted to get you guys a little nervous. Don't worry about it. And sure enough, you don't need to worry about it with Lou. With shots like that, and he gets high fives from his teammates from the South. Team South goes up 11-5 over the North team. There's just a minute and a half left in regulation play, and that brings Johnny Archer to the table for the break. Alternating break, like we mentioned. And Johnny Archer is now at the table. He's the #1 ranked player. He's the hottest young player on the tour today from Twin City, Georgia. Sinks the 8-ball in the bottom right pocket.
From the way they started out, Kevin, I suspected we might have seen Southern Death tonight, but not so in the last second half here. The South has really taken over.
Southern Death instead of sudden death.
Yeah,
is that what
sudden death. There we go. And the only death we're going to see tonight is the death of Team North.
Northern Death, exactly.
Right. Johnny Archer really hasn't had much of an effect on the match tonight. Now he has a chance to do a little damage and close it out. There's only 45 seconds left, but I'm sure he'd like to run this rack out before time elapses. Now this is a difficult shot. He's jacked up over the 7-ball. One of the most difficult shots in the game here is to try to shoot when you're jacked up like that. He elected to try to slop the 9-ball in. At this stage of the game, it doesn't really matter.
No, he felt as though he had nothing to lose, and he took a stab at it. He did hit the object ball, though, the 4-ball. And the North team comes to the table.
I don't know why they're taking so much time there.
They've taken a timeout.
Now, I think what LeBron will elect to do here is hit the 4-ball, glance with the cue ball, and pocket the 9. That's what I'd be doing at this stage of the game. You're down too far. But he's looking the table over. He looks as though he wants to try to run these balls out. I don't guess he's going to play the combination on the 9. Yeah, he did.
He certainly did, and he made it. Nice shot by Mike LeBron. Congratulations from his team all the way around. And let's take another look at that shot. That really was a great combination.
What makes it difficult is the 9-ball frozen on the rail over there. It leaves you no room for error, and Mike hit it perfectly.
Well, just 10 seconds left in the match now. Mike Siegel trying to quickly break, but to no avail. The final score at the end of regulation play, the South team easily takes the victory over the North. We talked to the coach, Lou Butera. He said the South will rise again. And in this match here, they certainly have. And we'll come back. We'll talk.
World's champion. Speaking to you for the Professional Billiards Tour. Pool is a great game, so come on down to your local pool room and have some fun.
To order your tour membership, call 1-800-225-1234. You'll receive Pro Tour credentials, the Pro Tour monthly newsletter, and other fabulous membership benefits, including discounts at participating pool rooms around the country. Call 1-800-225-1234 now.
America on the right side, the North team, the runner-up. It's a polite way of saying the loser. And to the winner, the South team. We talked about the South rising again. They certainly did. And the reason they did was their elder statesman in Lou Butera. Lou, you were playing the lights out tonight.
I felt real good tonight, Kevin, and hopefully I'll continue to do this throughout.
You need some new sneakers if you're going to play the way you did. That was the fastest rack of pool that I've ever seen anyone go. 59 seconds and you had every ball down.